Okay, so I hope you've seen the first part of this video, because this one will not make any sense whatsoever if you haven't seen it. In this video I'm just going to explain the other two possible endings, like I said, and then I'll go on to explain in detail how to perform this trick, or how the method actually works. I just want to say it is a very simple trick. There's no calculating involved. It's practically self-working. You know, it's pretty much a hands-free trick, because the spectator again has the deck in their hands, and they don't reveal their number that they're thinking of, and they never reveal their card until it's actually revealed at the end after they've dealt the cards. So you never touch the deck the whole time after they've revealed their number for the first time. So I think that just really makes this trick that much more impossible and amazing. So anyways, the other two endings, the other ending, or one of the two endings, will happen where they will simply just deal the number of cards of their number between 10 and 40, and they'll arrive at their card, at their selected card, just, you know, like a typical any card, any number, which, you know, is not quite as amazing, I think, as having them spell some answers, some vague answers to their secret card on top of that. But either way, you know, it's still, it works. I mean, it's going to blow them away that they arrive at their number. The third possible ending is very similar to the first one I showed you in the first video, where they deal their number once again, and then they're going to be asked two questions about their card, but in this case they're going to be asked 4 questions instead of like the 2 questions I asked in the original effect I showed you in the first video. So instead of just the color and the suit, I'm going to be asking for the first question if the value of their card is odd or even, and then I'm going to ask the color, and then I'm going to ask the suit, and then the fourth and final question is if they're the characteristic of their card, if it's a number card or court card. Okay, so that's basically it. So that's how the trick will end in those 3 ways. Now to do this, like you probably noticed, after I had the spectator shuffle the deck in the demonstration in the first video, if you remember, I had the spectator first think of a number between 10 and 40, and then I went through the deck of cards and counted the cards and played like I was warming up and trying to pick up on what number they were thinking of. Now what this does is this gives you the excuse to actually look for the 25th card, because the 25th card is going to be your key card for this trick to work. So you deal through and just play like you're, you know, you can count out loud or to yourself or whatever, and just kind of play like you're trying to sense for a number. And what you're doing, of course, is you're actually counting the cards, and you're secretly noting the 25th card. Okay, so you've noted the 25th card. I'm not going to actually note it right now, but you know, you've noted the 25th card secretly to yourself. But arrive at, say, a random number in the 30s somewhere, and just say, okay, are you thinking of 33, for instance? And you know, if you get it right, great. If you get it wrong, then no big deal. You just you know, set the cards back down, turn the packet over, and now you know that the 25th card, you know what the 25th card is, and you can just play like you were warming up and seeing if you could pick up on what they were thinking of. And then you can move on to say to the spectator to actually just change their number between 10 and 40. Think of a different number if they want, or they can keep the same number, it doesn't matter. Either way, the trick's going to work, but like I said, now you know what the key card is, the 25th card from the top of the deck. Now this key card is going to play an important role in how you're going to find their card and have it arrive at their selected number. And for this to work, you simply start the trick by having the spectator cut the top portion of the deck, but just ask them to cut about a quarter of the deck from the top. It's important that they cut about a quarter of the deck, because you don't want them to cut past the key card, which is, you know, closer to the middle of the deck, the 25th card. So they won't cut the, you know, I've done this similar trick, the similar principle many times, and people are really good at cutting about a quarter of the deck. They're not going to cut, you know, up to the half of the card. So have them cut a quarter of the deck and have them spread the cards in front of them and explain to them that you're going to have them select a random card. And to do this, to make sure it's completely random and no psychology involved whatsoever, you're going to have them use their secret 2-digit number that they're thinking of, and they simply add the 2 digits, just get them to add the 2 digits of their number together, and to take that sum total and count that many cards from the top of their packet over. Now that sum total could be a 2-digit number or a 1-digit number. Obviously, it doesn't matter if it's a 1 or 2-digit number. Whatever the total is, this will work. And they can count starting from the top card. It's important that they count from their top card over. So they count, let's say they're thinking of 23. They would add the 2 digits. They would be thinking of 5, so they count 5 cards over, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They would note the 5th card, the Jack of Spades in this case. That would be their secret card. Then remind them to just remember their secret card, their secret random card, and their 2-digit number. I can't remember what it was, 25 or 35, or I don't know. Anyways, let's just say they thought of 25. Okay, so they count 7 over because they thought 25. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So now they're noting, okay, the 5 of hearts. So now they remember the 5 of hearts and 25 secretly to themselves. You then get the spectator. It's important that they cut about 3/4 of the cards on the table. Just ask them to cut a little over half of the cards on the table. This guarantees that they're going to pick up the key card, which is in the upper portion of this larger portion of the remaining cards, and have them just drop it on top like so of their packet. And then you can actually have them further cut the cards. It doesn't matter. The key card is in a precise position that's going to allow you to do this trick. I can't really go into exactly how this works, but it's a great principle, and you'll figure it out when you play with it anyways. So once they've cut the cards a number of times, what you're going to do is you're going to pick up the cards, excuse me, and you're going to fan through the cards and just show all the cards and explain to them that there's just no way you could make up some pattern, like there's just no way you could know what card that they've selected out of all these cards after cutting, you know, a random amount of cards, burying their packet, and then cutting multiple times. There's just no way you could know what card their selected card could be, let alone what number they've counted to get to that selected card. But what you're actually doing is you're looking for the key card. Now, obviously I didn't actually look at a key card in this demonstration, but let's pretend my key card is the 4 of spades. I would just casually cut at the 4 of spades and just go on explaining whatever you're doing, like showing them that you just could not possibly know. Casually cut the cards and then set the packet down, and then just take the remaining cards on the table and drop them on top, just like that. And what that does is it sets the deck up now, and you're ready for the rest of the trick. The rest of it is just self-working. The spectator can now have the deck in their own hands. So this is pretty much, like I said, it's a hands-free trick because they haven't revealed what their secret number is or what their card is, and you know, this should really seem impossible. So for let's just say their number they were thinking of was between 30 and 40. So 30 through 39. If that's their number, that cues you in to instructing them to simply deal that many cards, whatever that number is, between 30 and 39, onto the table. And when they've done dealing, to simply, after they've got up to, let's say, 33 or whatever, after they've done dealing on the table, to simply place the rest of their packet on top like that. And you reveal the card sitting on top, the next card after their number, to be their selected card. And it'll always work based on that principle. So that should amaze them. Now that's the one potential ending. Now, if their number that they reveal for the first time is between 20 through 29, so 20 through 29, if it's any of those numbers, that gives you the cue then to instruct them to deal again, as always, with all potential endings, all 3 potential endings. They always deal their number first. Say they're thinking of 25, they deal 25 cards. So they deal 25 25, they get to 25, and then you can instruct them before, you can explain the whole thing before you even do anything. I think it makes it more impressive if you explain to them exactly what you do before you do it. You tell them that you're going to ask them 2 questions. Again, this is based on the number that they've chosen between 20 and 29. You're going to be asking them 2 questions about their secret selected card. The 2 questions are simply the color of the card and the suit. So for the first question, what is the color? They can simply spell 1 card for each letter of their answer. So it's either going to be red or black, of course. So for whatever answer they have, whether it be red or black, they simply spell that color. So let's just say they spell red, R-E-D. Okay, if it's black, they would spell B-L-A-C-K, obviously. So that part's simple. And now the important part is how they spell the suits. The suits have to be spelled specifically singular for some suits, plural for others. And this is the part where it gets a little tricky to remember. So after they've spelt the color, which is straightforward, for the red cards, it's either, of course, going to be diamonds or hearts. So if it's hearts, they always spell hearts plural, okay? So when they spell hearts, H-E-A-R-T-S, it's important to remember only for hearts, after you spelt it in plural form, remember that the next card is their card, okay? And then you just simply place the rest of the packet on top and then go to reveal the next card, and they should be blown away. That's only for hearts. Now, if it's diamond, always spell diamond singular. Always spell diamond singular. So D-I-A-M-O-N-D. And the card that finishes the spelling on D will be their card. So right on D, just remember to show that card to be their card. Okay? So now for the black cards, you're going to be spelling the suits. For spade, it's singular also. Spade is S-P-A-D-E, and again, you will arrive right at their card on E for spade, okay? And lastly, for clubs, clubs is always plural. So just remember, hearts and clubs are always plural, spade and diamond always singular, okay? So you spell clubs, C-L-U-B-S, and again, the card you finish a spelling at will be their selected card. So it's only hearts where the next card will be their card, okay? So just to recap, always spell clubs and hearts with an S at the end, diamond, spade, singular. And for hearts, it's always the next card after the spelling is over. The next card will be their card, okay? And I think it's just kind of nice to show the next card by just having them drop the remaining cards on top, and then you explain that the card they arrived at sitting on top of the deck now happens to be their selected card, and that's that. Okay, so that's that second potential ending. Now, the more complicated ending is exactly like the one I just showed you, except you're going to be asking 4 questions about their card instead of just the 2, the color and the suit. And the 4 questions are, the first one is odd or even, the second is the color, the third is the suit, and the fourth is the characteristic of their card, whether that be a number card or court card, okay? Now, this gets a little complicated, but it's really easy once you get it. So I'm sorry, you'll have to probably go back and forth in this video to really get it clarified and understood. But this is just the best way I can explain it. So I'll try my best to be as clear as I can. What you do is, first of all, for this third and last potential ending, this is, of course, as you've probably figured out already, it's based on their 2-digit number being between 10 through 19. Okay, so when they reveal for the first time their number, any number 10 through 19, that then tells you to instruct them to deal that number down on the table, whatever that number is. Let's say they deal 13 cards for their secret number, and then you go on to explain what you're going to do next. Again, I think it's important that you explain exactly what you're going to do before you actually execute it. I think it just seems a little more impressive. So, for these numbers, 10 through 19, after they've dealt their number, you then say, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask 4 questions about your secret card. And the 4 questions are this. The first one, is it odd or even? The second, what color is it, black or red? Then the suit. And then lastly, if it's a picture card or number card. Now you can just sort of say picture card or number card. You're not necessarily going to actually use those words. It's going to depend on the suit of their card and whether their card is odd or even. I'll get into that in a little more detail in a second. So, first of all, you ask them, is their card odd or even? If they say even, you simply spell even, E-V-E-N. If they say odd, you simply spell odd, O-D-D. Okay, simple. But you also have to remember, if they spell odd, that cues you in to know that you're going to actually be spelling, for the 4th and last question about the characteristic of their card, you're going to be spelling... for odds, you're going to be spelling the pair answers number card or figure card, okay? So if you can remember that, number card or figure card for odds, and for evens, you're going to be spelling spot card or court card. So they're similar answers, different wording. It's important because of the amount of letters. So again, if they spell even, you got to remember to use the answers when you ask the question. You're going to have them answer either, for even, you're going to have them answer spot card or court card, and for odd, you're going to have them answer figure card or number card. Okay? Now, this can actually change through based on the suit of the card. These last answers can also change again based on the suit. So I know this gets a little tricky. But with a little practice, you'll get this. It's really easy. Now, okay, let's just say they spell even. Okay, I've got it set up in my mind that the last question is going to be spot and court card. The second question, this is why it's important to do these questions in this specific order. The second question is the color. Let's say they say black, B-L-A-C-K. That's fine, you spell black. If they say red, that's fine, just spell red, R-E-D. Now for blacks, again, the suits are spelled the exact same way as in the other potential ending that I explained. Always singular for spade and diamond. Always plural for hearts and clubs. It's the same way, okay? Now for black, after spelling even, again, we know that we're going to be spelling spot and court card at the end because it's even. For black, once we spelt the suit, whether it be spade, S-P-A-D-E, or clubs, C-L-U-B-S, when we go to spell whatever answer they have, whether it be spot card or court card, whatever we spell, we will land exactly on, if we spell spot, we will land exactly on their card. No, I'm sorry. If we spell spot, always, when you spell spot, the next card will be their card. The next card, okay? After spelling spot, for spot card. When you spell court card, you will land exactly on their card, okay? It just makes sense. You can kind of remember that because court card is slightly longer. It's, C-O-U-R-T, 5 letters. Spot is only 4, so it's going to mean that the next card is going to be their selected card. And court card, you're going to land exactly on their card, okay? So you just have to remember that when you do court or spot. Now, after doing even, and let's just say the color is red and it's diamond, D-I-A-M-O-N-D. Again, you're going to do spot or court. It's going to end the same way. You're going to spell court and land right on their card, or you're going to spell spot and the next card will be their selected card, okay? Now, there's going to be a slight difference. The only time you're going to change this, again, like I said, hearts change everything, okay? Just remember that. When you, hearts just means, it doesn't change everything, sorry, I don't want to confuse you. When you spell hearts for whatever category you start your answers with, whether it be odd or even, when you spell hearts, it always means, always means that the last and final question, you'll be using the answers figure or number after spelling hearts, okay? That's all you have to remember after spelling hearts, figure, or number. Okay, no matter what. Even if you spelled odd, well, obviously with odd you use figure or number at the end anyways, but that doesn't change if you use hearts. It's still figure or number. But if you use even, instead of using spot and court card, you got to change it to figure and number after spelling hearts. Okay? So let's just do an example of that. We start with even, E-V-E-N. We think we're going to be spelling court and spot for the last question. But the next question is red, R-E-D. And then the suit just happens to be hearts, H-E-A-R-T-S. So that tells us then that it changes to figure or number. So we get them to spell figure or number. When we spell figure or number, we will arrive exactly on the card after they spell figure or number after hearts. Okay? Now, let's see here. Okay. When we spell odd, okay, I'm sorry to confuse you, but this is the last and final thing. When you spell odd, O-D-D, and then you spell red, R-E-D, and then it's hearts, H-E-A-R-T-S, that, of course, doesn't change what you were originally supposed to spell at the end, which is figure or number, because it was odd. So you spell figure or number for hearts. But what it does change, after you spell figure or number for hearts on odd, that means that the next card will be the selected card. Okay? Not the card you arrive at. Only for hearts on odd and after spelling figure or number, the next card will be the selected card. Okay? For hearts on even, after spelling figure or number, you will arrive exactly on the spelling. Okay? So that's it. I think that's the whole thing. Again, you'll probably have to go back in the video to understand that, but that's exactly how it works. And I think I've covered everything. But I think my batteries on my camera are going to run out, and I got to end this quick. So I hope you understand that all right, and I hope you enjoyed that. So thanks for watching.